So now, there's only one person, but that's the plan with
Even it can be
I'm not
closed.
happy with you guys.
Yes, yes. Only this.
Okay, I think I'm doing
Okay.
Sure.
you're going to be showing.
Showing
Alright. So we just need to sort out. See what they claim. Is this clear?
Alright, so attendees cannot see the participants.
I'm super.
Attendees can see the participants.
I'm signing into my Gmail so I can get the link.
That's fine. But you have to remember that whatever you're doing is showing up on the screen.
That's
So
what
quickly.
I'm hearing double.
Turn on all the screens in the
Okay,
building.
it's probably one day's meet then.
Oh.
Someone should try to say something.
Rich is saying that we should do a test.
I'm trying to
Hello,
get
Richard.
the YouTube, please.
Yeah. So we are about to start. Oh, okay, cool. Are you supposed to? Are you going to let him in? Solution. Say Kelechi is on.
Yeah, he will enter automatically when he presses the link.
Oh, when he presses the link.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tell him to press the link. He will enter automatically.
Shola Ammashaum is inside already.
Nice, yes, thank
I think you should press the link. You will enter in automatically. Solution. Tell them like.
Alright. Yeah, press the link I sent him, sir, and he will be able to enter. But
you.
I'll resend Kelechi's onto his email now. You should open that link.
There's it.
He has to press it so that it shows from his own name. You get, everyone has their own individual link. Yeah, so to show that his name that is inside.
So what Richard, if you see the mail that is sent, right? You will see a place where it is join from a PC. Click here to join. That is what you should click. And that's what you need to click. From there to click it to yeah. Well done.
Student, let me see your background. Let me see your background. You are too close. Do you not think you're too close to your computer?
Okay.
Okay, later.
Who is Peexoo Technologies?
That's the host.
So you can make me the host now, so that they are not seeing Peexoo Technologies. So if you make me the host, then you can cut out.
Yeah. All right. So. Let me see if it's okay.
And Steven, mute your mic. Where's your
Yeah, that's more like it. Hello.
my brother?
Hello.
You need to.
I'm muted.
I'm good.
I'm not muted.
Can you hear me?
A bit of latency.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
If your mic is not muted in this room, if your speaker,
Volume is low on that end, though, Stephen.
speaker, mute your speaker or use a headphone. Yes. No, it's
Your
still
volume is low.
speaker.
It's muted. It's muted.
It's muted. But then
No, speaker. Somebody's speaker.
okay.
How about now? Okay, we're good.
Wendy, can we hear you from there?
Can you hear me? I can hear you guys clearly. Can you hear me?
Okay, better now. Awesome, awesome.
I hear you.
All right. So the YouTube.
Hey, what up? What up, guys? How are you doing?
Yes. We need to. Are you still on? So are you still the host?
Yeah. No, I'm get the host. Get the host.
Okay. So I need to be able to pin videos.
Slaps, right?
Why did you just come in here? No, I'm
Hello? Are we good? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. So can I start now?
Before you start the webinar, take this pin away from there. That's not going to be easy. That's not, yeah.
So can't you like toggle it this?
What, the chat?
You guys will tell me when I should start.
Put it in your office now.
All right, so we're starting with now.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with this. Is it 11 o'clock? All right, let's go ahead. Let's go live. If you're not needed in the room.
Enjoy. Just going to be in front of you. So your phone's on silent, please.
Are we live? Count me down. Let me know when to go. Kelechi has a permanent smile on his face. I love it. Are we live? All right. And now let me know when to go. There you go.
Okay, well, I think we should draw this curtain on. Yeah, It's bringing out a lot of points. Concentrate. Better.
When do we start?
Better.
Okay. So we can start.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wande Adams. I am the co-founder of Peexoo Technologies. We're here live from Lagos, Nigeria, from a room called The Lens at the Peexoo Technologies office building in Yaba. Again, my name is Wande. With me today is my co-founder, Stephen Wadike. Good morning, Stephen.
We didn't add Kelechi.
Kelechi, Stephen Wadike. Good morning, Stephen.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Monday. I'm excited to be here today, and this is going to be a wonderful session.
A little bit, we need to go into some background to let you know what Peexoo is about. So Peexoo is a photography platform powered by artificial intelligence. In 2018, Stephen, you and I ran into each other.
Yeah.
I was scouting the streets of Lagos looking for some of the best tech ideas.
Sure.
You were carrying a monster idea called Tringo at the time.
Yeah.
And then we met, and then I told you to contest,
Mm-hmm.
and then you did, and you won.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about what you were doing at the time.
So let me just put it this way. At the time, I was hustling. I'm still hustling now.
You're still hustling. You're
hustling.
hustling.
So at that time, it was more like obsessive hustling. Even at now, I'm still obsessed about the product, about the platform. Then it was something different because no one actually believed in the dream. So it was like a young man from the east that came to Lagos trying to push an idea that is very different or very unique from the normal way people do things in Nigeria and Africa. So and for me to look at the this thing to do, for me to look at the idea I'm going to work on, I had to choose photography. So and for me it has been a wonderful ride, and it has been.
So when I met you, like you said, you were hustling, right? And what you were doing at that time was fantastic. You were connecting celebrants and people who were looking for photographers through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And it was a successful business.
Absolutely. Then so we started very minimal. So we just did a minimum viable product, more like a washed down version of what we have now. So what we do then is very simple. We have a pool of at least over 200 photographers there, both still and motion photographers in a WhatsApp group. And what we do is that we scout and we also talk to event planners for them to actually for them to actually do use our photographers to do their shoots, wedding, events, and then event was booming before the corona and everything. So it was a very cool thing.
So you know what's fantastic about it is the fact that you didn't get comfortable, right? You started this business connecting photographers who were looking for jobs and they couldn't market themselves. But then you said, you know what, I'll go out and look for the jobs, and then I'll connect you with a quality photographer within your area that has the expertise that you're looking for. So either portrait shoot, event shoot, which is mostly what you were doing at the time, right?
Yeah.
And then you got a feedback that, look, how do I find my pictures? I've been to events where your photographers have taken my pictures,
True.
but I never find my pictures.
True.
And then you decided to,
let me even tell like a very little story about that. So I don't know any of us know about GT Food and Drinks.
Yeah.
So then I was really hustling. So what we used to do there is that we go into the streets, we go into events and try to take people's pictures and let them hold like a banner of then Tringo to show people like, okay, this is what we do and stuff like that. More like advertising or marketing. Then people that were taking their pictures were now asking us, how do I get my pictures? Imagine close to 20 or 50 people bombarding your Instagram page and ask you, please, you guys took the pictures of me as so and so. How do I get my pictures? So based on the fact that I have been in the tech community, I myself am a tech person, I was like, this is something definitely facial recognition can solve. That's how Find My Face came into play, where if any photographer covers an event
they can actually use our platform to share these pictures with their event attendees by just taking a selfie, captures their face and brings out all the pictures their faces appeared on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the amazing part of it is you started doing that.
Yeah.
And then I went to speak at an event.
Yeah.
And you took the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then to get my attention,
yeah,
you sent me a link and said, take a selfie.
Of course.
And then I found my pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was when this relationship started. Because I said to myself, oh Lord, God knows what I can do with this. And then
I still even remember the chat there. You told me we were going to blow up the world or something.
I said this is crazy, right? And we needed to do something about it. And today we have Peexoo.
Absolutely.
For the sake of time, right? What have we now built from that little idea? What have we now built together, right? We've been able to build a photography platform. It is actually a platform and a marketplace, right? For those who don't know, who've never heard of Peexoo, you can go to peexoo.ai, peexoo.ai, to find out what Peexoo is. It's a photography platform powered by artificial intelligence. And what we've done is we've built a platform that makes it easy for photographers to focus on their talents by continuing to shoot while we provide them tools to help their business run.
Absolutely.
Right? We've spent the last year and a half building this monster of a product, and here we are today hosting our very first photography conference.
So the truth about this is that is for me it validates the fact that
for me us doing a virtual conference validates the fact that we are the tech people. So hosting a virtual event is something that
regardless of COVID.
No, COVID is not a problem.
Yes.
So regardless of COVID, we are more like repeaters, and we are also in the habit of working remotely. So for me, this virtual conference is a bit like a sneak peek of our keynote. But we're actually going to unveil the product later on. So for me, is the right time that we are doing this, and it's a great one. Yeah.
Fantastic. So at this point, for the sake of time, we're going to go to the event of the day. Thank you, Stephen. And I'll say congratulations to you. Congratulations to everyone on the team. Well, congratulations to us, to everyone on the team. We've come so far, and we have a long way to go. We have work ahead of us, but I believe that we're capable of doing that. And speaking of being on the team, there's one more person that's on the team. Kelechi Amadi-Obi is on the team. It's been fantastic throughout this process, because obviously, knowing that we were going into a space where I'm not a professional photographer, Stephen is not a professional photographer, we needed to get a name in the industry to help us, to back us up. And funny enough, he's stealing all of the YouTube screen time. I think we have some technical difficulty. Is Kelechi frozen on YouTube?
No.
Okay, all right. So for those who are joining us on YouTube, we're having a little bit of technical issue. We'll sort that out. For those who are live, I want to introduce us to one of our board members, and arguably for me,
Best.
number one in Africa. I would go into introducing Kelechi, but through the conversation, you would see who Kelechi is. Kelechi and I, when we first met, we gelled on the fact that this man saw what we were doing and said, finally, we can give Africa a good image. And one of the things that I like about him is Kelechi lives this profession, and he called himself a photographer in his intro video, and I laughed, because he's a businessman and he understands the business of photography. So without further ado, I want to invite Kelechi Amadi-Obi, a non-executive director in Peexoo, and a friend, a big brother, and a part of the team. So I'd say congratulations to you too, Kelechi, and welcome.
Thank you so much.
Kelechi, can you hear us, please?
Yes, can hear you. I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
You're on mute if you're speaking.
Yeah, okay.
I can see you speak, but you're muted.
Let me see. Shouldn't be. Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear?
Yes, yes. Now I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
All right.
Okay, wonderful.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I'm good. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. And you guys never cease to surprise me, with your wonderful ideas. And I can still recall the first time I was told about the project. And I said, oh, this is an idea whose time has come. Photographers in this part of Africa really have a lot of challenge. And bringing a portal where people can come and get their solutions. I mean, you can't have too much of that. So I would say a big congratulations, to you, and bringing us together in this conference, virtual conference, is an awesome idea. I hope you can hear me very well.
Yes, I can.
Oh,
yes,
great,
I can.
Great.
So Kelechi, remember sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I think it's a wonderful idea. Big congratulations to Peexoo. And any photographer that is wise enough to sign on will certainly not regret it. It's a wonderful platform there to provide solutions, to image makers.
Fantastic. And we didn't do this without your input. Remember when we first met at our Lekki office before we even registered a business called Peexoo? And you and I had a conversation about what we wanted to do with Peexoo. And I said that, look, in my own line of work, technology, that a lot of people believe that once you have a fantastic idea, you develop a solution, boom, everything is all good. And I said, no. And this is very critical in every aspect of life, especially for creatives. The fact that you're a creative and you have a talent does not mean that you are going to own that talent and be successful. And I said that what you've been able to do is something that should be emulated by every creative out there that wants to turn their talent into a business. And we talked about how Peexoo then needs to now be the support and the backbone of creatives in this continent. And we talked about how we can create opportunities for photographers to find jobs, create opportunities for photographers to run their business seamlessly. So with your help, we've been able to create Peexoo Biz that allows photographers to sign up on the platform where they can put up their portfolio, people can see their work. It just levels the playing field, because that there are some influencer photographers on Instagram who they know how to market themselves, but not everybody has that opportunity, right? So we then said, how do we build this platform that if I am looking for a portrait photographer in Mushin, I can find someone close to me that can get to me very quickly, and I can see their availability. I can book them online. I can see their past work for me to make a decision to book them. And that's what we've done today. Today, from that time when you and I discussed that idea, today we're sitting in Peexoo Lens, we're having this conference. So tell me, what has your experience been so far with some of the things that, as you being a part of Peexoo?
Well, I mean, nothing beats that. A lot of times we do have a situation where most times people are talented. They know how to make good photos. They know how to arrange their lighting and create something spectacular. But then when it comes to marketing their work, when it comes to selling, now that requires a different set of, skills. That requires a different temperament. That requires a lot of other things. So Peexoo stepping in to help in this area is very crucial. I used to tell people, the great photographers are not necessarily the greatest photographers that ever lived. They are the ones that found a way to get their works out for people to see. A lot of people make significant work. Let me give you an example. Is an artist like Van Gogh, Vincent Van Gogh, who was almost a genius, you know, when you come to review the work he did during his lifetime. But throughout his life, this man was broke, depressed, had to cut his hair off at some time, and eventually, I think, committed suicide or something. But, you know, he did not have the ability to market that talent. And that requires a different set of skills. A lot of times, what creatives end up doing is finding a manager, somebody who is business savvy, who can help them manage their talent, talk to the clients and book, you know, the shoots and organize things. But these days with technology and what Peexoo is doing, you can then, you know, have an app that does that for you, organizes your schedule, makes people understand your availability, shows people your portfolio and things like that. And for me, it is a very, very wonderful idea. I mean, you're going to constantly modify and, you know, mold it, you know, to fit the different circumstances that we have here in Nigeria. But I think all in all, it's just a very wonderful idea. And I think it's going to be a huge success. Hello.
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you. Fantastic. Sorry. So this is great, and that's where we are today, right? How have you been able to do it? Some of the things that you and I have discussed, you know, I just want you to just have the floor, get started, let our audience know how you've been able to do it and some of the key things that you can share with them. So please go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. I mean, my name is Kelechi Amadi-Obi. I will tell people I'm a photographer, I'm an artist. I started from drawing, making drawings when I was a kid. And eventually I went to study law, which is a great thing, gives me good voice and understanding of the rules, you know. But while I was in university, I realized the power of image. So that was the time I realized that, you know, the visual arts is a very powerful tool for social engineering. And that's when I understood the significance, you know, of the image and what people see. I found myself as an artist on campus, redesigning and redirecting the social direction in terms of trends in school. So you cartoon something and people start to change their behavior. So I realized within the microcosm of the university that the outer world is also in that kind of state where with imagery, you can affect the way people feel and think about things. So by the time I finished my law school, I decided to become a full-time artist. Eventually, after 3 or 4 to 5 years, I stumbled onto photography gradually, and I decided to become a photographer. But then, you know, let's call it a teachable moment right here. The first thing is this, a realization of who you are and what your purpose is on earth. So for me, I realized that I was this person who has that capacity to create imagery, and that it is through these images that I can make an impact, a positive impact in the world that we live in. So when I started photography, really, I started it as a hobby. I started it as something I was very, very, very passionate about. And what happened? In those days, it was film. So pick up the camera, start to shoot. No need to waste time, you know? And the more pictures I made, the better I got. At this point in time, it was not commercial. It was just a passion. And gradually, I started getting noticed. So the first thing is this. Okay, I want to make imagery, so I start to make imagery. So for me, it is to act on your passion. So it's important that whatever you set your mind to, you act. you take action on it. So I said, you know what, I want to be great at this. So I decided, I picked up the camera and I started making imagery. It's the images that I was making that then attracted patronage. I always tell people when we start to talk about life, and they say, oh, you know, I'm chasing money, I'm chasing success, I'm hustling. You say, but success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract by just being your best self, by working towards your goals. And I say this in a very, how do I put it? You know, if you do good work and you show it, then people will come. Or somebody say, build it and they will come. You know, so what I was doing, basically, okay, look at how it started. And I decided I got obsessed with fashion photography. So I started to shoot any beautiful lady I see that is tall. I bring and convince her to come in front of my camera. We start to make pictures. I now built a team. You know, I had these friends. I had Bayo Hastrop, who was my makeup artist. You know, he was also running a kind of, you know, informal modeling agency. There was Ugo, who almost made me place in Surulere, who became my hairstylist. Okay, and there was a guy called Jimmy Delaja. You know, you guys will know him. I think he's moved to South Africa now. He was a designer in those days. He became my stylist. And we would come and we would do all this incredible stuff, create images just for the sake of enjoying ourselves. And we finish, in those days it was film, I finished shooting, we give them their portfolio and they leave. Now, I was doing this just for the passion. But what we did not do was to keep quiet and wait for things to happen. So by making all these pictures, eventually a magazine came into Nigeria called True Love Magazine from South Africa, and they were looking for fashion editorials to shoot. So at the end of the day, what ended up happening was that they were looking for a fashion photographer, and somebody told them, Kelechi's been shooting fashion. So based on that, we then had a portfolio to present, the True Love magazine. And that was how I started shooting fashion editorial. That is how the Kelechi Amadi-Obi brand started, as a fashion photographer. And then there were no makeup artists that I knew of except Bayo Hastrop. Then there were no stylists. So somebody were a stylist, they would ask you what you do. What does that mean? You know, and we did our first shoot. And how I knew that the work was great was that they didn't just publish it in the Nigerian West African True Love magazine. They also published it in the mother company and the mother publication in South Africa. That was when I realized that, okay, this work is good work, okay? And from then on, I got the opportunity to then get paid for that same work I was doing with my team for free, right? So the first thing to do is act on your dream. You never know who's watching. Eventually, people are going to look and find you based on the work you're doing. Now, in those days, there was no Instagram, there was no internet, there were no organizations like Peexoo, you know, to show your work, you know, to people. But what then happened was that my work getting published in the magazine also created an environment of publication and a notoriety about my skills. So, so how do you do this? What is it that, you know, creates the powerful situation that propels you to stardom? I think it is taking every single shoot that you do as the ultimate opportunity to show the greatest you can ever do, or the greatest you can ever create, the heaviest, most creative thing you can make. So every shoot for me was an opportunity to push the envelope a little further, you know. And after True Love, I started shooting for Next, did a little for Genevieve, and then I decided to start publishing my own magazine. I mean, I was that obsessed with fashion photography. So I started publishing Mania magazine. Now, my days of publishing Mania, those were crazy days, and those were the most amazing, most creatively satisfying days where I was the publisher and I was also the one creating the content. And when we talk about the creative freedom and artistic license, we had an abundance of it. I wake up in the morning and say, you know what? We're going to fly to Paris to go and shoot the next editorial, and we catch a ticket and fly to Paris, and do the shoot just like that, and it was amazing. Now, that publication gave me wings, to fly creatively. What that did was I had an unfettered, freedom to completely create as I wished, almost like a crazy artist in his studio. And the magazine thrived and did very well. So at the end of the day, I always say this: you never know where it's going to come from. Every single day you wake up, feed your imagination, feed your creativity. People keep asking me, so what if you have a creator's block, creative block? And I say, look, pick up your camera and start to shoot. Just by the process of creating opens more doors to discovery. And that was how, over the years, I built the reputation. And eventually, I closed Mania magazine, and I've been enjoying Instagram as a platform also, to show creative work. It's unbelievable, YouTube, making film, and it's been quite interesting. Now, the business side of photography is, for me, the same as any other business. A lot of us say, oh, we want to be creatives, we are running away from trademark and all the other things. I am sorry to inform you that if you're going to be running your photo studio as a business, and it is your source of income, well, you have to follow the rules of any business, which means, well, you have to be solving somebody's problem, and you have to be a promise keeper. You have to build confidence in your clients. They need to know that you will deliver what you said you will deliver. As I'm speaking to you right now, I'm on location for a shoot. My client, my model is in the next room. 2 models are getting their makeup done, and we're going to shoot some beauty and things like that. I know you guys would like to get a peep and see how we create these things. I hope I'll be able to show you some of that, because, but the thing is this: each time you create good work for yourself, work that satisfies your creative aspirations, and you let it out there, there will be hundreds, perhaps thousands of people who also want their story to be told the way you told your own story. And they are willing to pay, for that. Now, before you start collecting money for what you do, you must be sure that you have the consistency. You must be sure that you have the skill to be able to consistently bring out a certain quality, a certain level of quality of work, And in order to do that, all you need to do is not difficult. Practice, 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 but with the mind to improve it. Rummage through the whole of YouTube, read books, and try and get as much out there as possible in terms of experience. Yeah. So for me, it's 2 things. Okay. Be inspired. Be motivated to create. Then go ahead and do something about it. Make something. And when you finish making it and you're happy with it, well, show it. You have to publish it. You have to exhibit it. And that is how it is. Do good work, show it. And these days, platforms like Peexoo are the places where you can expose your work and get it seen. Say, only show your best work. Don't be in a hurry. Don't try to do volume. Only show your best work. And always try to surpass the last work that you did. If you're looking at the work that you did 2 or 3 years ago and you're still oohing and eyeing over it, well, I would say it's not a good thing. You know, you need to look at your work that you did 2 or 3 years ago and tell yourself, I can't believe I did that type of terrible work. When you start feeling like that about your own work, it means you have improved. Yeah.
So quality over quantity, and then always push yourself a little further. Your work has to be better than your last work. So
It has to be.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So let's take it back to what you and I have in common, right? How do we change the imagery of Africa, leveraging on Peexoo? Because Peexoo is coming in to fill this gap. Because obviously, if there's no problem in this space, we won't even come into it. Peexoo is coming in to fill. You are passionate about the imagery of Africa, but I've seen some of your work. You've shown me some of your work, and no one will ever believe this is Africa. How do we put in the work to change the image? And how does Peexoo come in?
Well, I mean, for me, I think it's very simple. There are rules, there are rules of visuality, and the same rules that govern creating art, creating, the rules of design, composition, color theory, and the content itself also. Now, Peexoo as a platform, I noticed, has also been working on, teaching photographers, and spreading knowledge. I see, tutorials and things coming up. Now, what we need for Africa and Africans to change the poor image of this continent is for the image makers themselves to be world class. Now, the world is used to a certain level of quality. I want to say world class, I want to equate it to the part of the world where creatives are rewarded the highest. Okay, so I would say photographers in New York, in Tokyo, in Munich, and in Paris, where people are getting well paid for making imagery. Now, what are the standards that they have in terms of the quality of imagery? The aesthetic level, the sharpness, the intrinsic content and the creative content of the image, right? Now, if we set our standards based on those standards and then try to surpass them, and then we teach the photographers in Africa. So what Peexoo can do is to raise an army of image makers who will then go ahead and completely change the image of the continent. And I do not see it as an uphill task. It is not that difficult. The young people in Africa are terribly talented and are easily motivated. They just need information. They need to know what to do. And if you provide the tutelage, you will gain, in terms of the quality. I have watched the industry grow for the past 15 years, and that growth has been quite exponential, very, very fast in terms of how quickly people are learning, how quickly people are improving, and it's already happening. So what Peexoo will then do is to coordinate this, put it together, and let it be the main place, the go-to place, for you to go and learn how to make good imagery, for you to show the good one you've done and attract patronage. I think that is just it.
So that's a great segue, because my next question talks about the qualities, because you're talking about quality photography, getting the knowledge, getting the skills, making sure that our photographers are quality enough to tell a good story, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about that. And my next question is, what are the qualities photographers should excel or reach the peak of their careers? What qualities do photographers need to excel or reach the peak of their careers? One of the things that I would say, being a part of Peexoo is I think that I've given the team a responsibility to own this and say we need to take care of photographers in Africa. It is our responsibility to create more opportunities for them. And you and I had a discussion a couple of months back about how easy it is for the average photographer in Nigeria to just go straight to being an event photographer, right? But then there are so many opportunities in the space, it is boundless. So talk to us as to what is going on with us in Africa, especially in Nigeria, that we think that this business is just by clicking the shutter.
Well, the truth is that people do have different motivations, that pushes them into a career path. A lot of times people are motivated by monetary, remuneration. And so instead of thinking about what it is that they want to give, they're thinking of what they want to get first. So when they're thinking about what they want to get first, then they have expectations of remuneration, in which case they will start to investigate what people are doing to get paid. So instead of saying, what do I really have to offer? They're asking, what are people offering? And who are they offering it to? And when they do that, it's an upside down way of starting your career. First, your skills are not good enough for you to be paid premium. Second, you have not checked yourself to understand your temperament and find out the best area that is suited for your personality. So what ends up happening? People are always running to events because whenever somebody has an event, then they have a budget for a photographer. So it's like the low-hanging fruit. So instantly, they get paid. Somebody gives you 100,000, go and cover my event, And it seems that the quality level is low in terms of expectations. So that's why everybody's flocking to event photography. And the funny thing is that
how do we help them out of it? Because so this is my pain. When you and I were speaking that day, without mentioning any brand, you told me I'm taking a picture of a sweaty bottle, and you will make a lot more money than shooting 5-10 events. So there's something you have put into your craft that we need to share. And that
let me tell you what the ingredient is. And I keep telling people this, it's not difficult. The first thing is that you need to find what you are good at and what you are interested in. When you understand your passion, then it is a sustainable, self-powering, process where it's your passion, is your passion that is driving you, not the money that you're going to get from the shoot. Now, if you can do that, then you're going to push yourself to the point where you become an expert. There's a certain number of hours you need to put into your craft before you become a master. And that is very simple. Once you become a master at what you're doing, then the people will start following you with their money. But before then, your only remuneration is that you are improving. You can see it yourself. You understand? Just a second. So if you pass through that threshold, then you surpass you're out of the crowd of amateurs. Excuse me. Let me have some water. Okay. So once you pass that threshold, then you're one of the few that really know what they're doing. If you pass that threshold, then you started earning. Then you have to also make sure that your work is unique, that you're not like every other person. Once your work is unique, then nobody can compete with you. Once that is happening, then people are coming to you specifically for your expertise. People call it the photographer's eye. It's a combination of years of experience that then comes out with your own special way of seeing that appeals to your clientele, you know? And there lies the secret. The courage to be yourself. The courage to do your own thing. But then you have passed the level of mastery of the basics. So much so, because it's art, you can then confidently say, this is my path. This is where I'm going to. You know? And once you can do that, then you start to stand up. Then you can call your pride.
Amazing.
You know?
Amazing.
So it's very simple, but you have to be able to pass through that threshold. But if your major motivation is money, you will always find yourself sort of falling short.
But then you can't blame people because obviously we also need to look at our environment, right? It's not as if the unemployment rate is so low that there are jobs out there waiting for people. You find it that people who have college degrees, people who have law degrees, doctoral degrees can't find jobs, and they have to pick on something. And sometimes they go to their passion, right? But not necessarily understanding how to turn their passion into a career, right? So one of the things that we've then done is to say, why don't we create an agency? We will go look for the work, right? While we will look for the work and get quality photographers to go and do the job on behalf of the agency. So we launched Peexoo agency, and so I would encourage anyone who is interested to go on the website on peexoo.ai and try to register as an agent of Peexoo. It is another way to give yourself more opportunities to get these jobs. I say this to say, we had this challenge of COVID this year, and photographers went into silos, you know, and we were thinking within ourselves at Peexoo, what can we do? What can we do? So we started reaching out to companies. Do you need to take pictures? Do you need any photography or a cinematographer? We started reaching out and we started getting these jobs, and we started connecting photographers with jobs. And so now I'm saying to myself, with everything that you have achieved in your career, as a matter of fact, for the sake of time, we'll be going into Q&A soon, and then we'll start getting ready for my friend Jay Alonzo. You know, with everything you've achieved in your career, the biggest mistakes?
Well, one of the biggest mistakes, let's see. Well, a lot of times it's about being bold. You know, I think we all make that mistake. You know, just being bold enough to say, you know what, I'm going to just concentrate on only this and get it down. So some of those early days, I think everybody makes that mistake, is trying to do so many different things. You know, but eventually I realized that I needed to face one area, become famous in it, before you can start attempting others. So those are some of my early mistakes. There was a time I was also running around shooting events, shooting weddings, shooting this and shooting that. And I, you know, until eventually I decided that, okay, I'm done. You know, I'm just going to do the ones that I love most. And that is how my career really kicked off. Maybe I made a decision to say no to the other things. That meant a resounding yes to the ones that mattered.
When you found yourself, right, you told me something. and you started calling some people and you said, "Come here, let me make you a goddess." People need to find themselves to be able to now take regular people and turn them into icons. So I'll say that you've had some amazing images that the entire nation and the entire continent can recognize and say this is a Kelechi shoot. Being a part of the family, we want to create more of you in this industry, and this is a platform that can help us do that. You and I have talked about the ability to help photographers sell their work through our stock platform that's coming up. So we would now go into Q&A. We will now go into Q&A, and then after Q&A, we would bring on Jay. You and Jay can have a little chat, and then we'll let you go for the day. So do we have any questions so if there are any questions, if you could just put in your questions for those that are joining us on Zoom. Kelechi would like to take your questions. All right, I'm just going to scroll through. Okay, so there's one here. It says, in determining the exact area to focus on, what were your key drivers, Kelechi?
Well, the first thing I needed to do was to find out what excites me, I mean, it's very, very personal. What sort of images do I enjoy looking at, So I rummage through the magazines and I see those images that I'm like, oh my goodness, who made this image? I would like to make this kind of work. So those images that get your heart pumping, get your blood boiling, those are the images that excite you. And once you find yourself that when I make this kind of image, I'm happy with the work I've created. Once you get yourself in that space, that is where you should concentrate on. The truth is that you can market it. You need to find those who want to pay for it. But at the end of the day, when you invest your passion into it, your emotional, capital into that area, your work will stand out and, arrive with resounding presence and impact. And that is just what I did. Those areas may not be the most lucrative. For instance, fashion photography is not necessarily the most lucrative area in terms of Nigerian photography landscape. Our fashion industry is still infantile compared, to Europe and United States. We don't have huge brands like Versace and Dior or, and the rest of them who will afford to pay a photographer $50,000 to $100,000 a day. But with the skills I developed through my passion in fashion photography, just a little bit of it invested in corporate portrait photography will shoot me to a level where the guys are ready to pay 3 million naira for 6 hours of work. With the same skill as a fashion photographer, you use it to shoot somebody's 50th birthday photo, and you are making them look like Beyonce on the cover of Vogue. They are ready to pay you 3 million naira for 6 hours of shoot. So it's not necessarily going for the most lucrative area. It's going for the area that you enjoy most. Those skills will come to bear for those who don't want to pay premium in different facets of photography.
Absolutely. So what I hear, because my next question was going to be, how do you navigate this crazy market? Because you know that in this Nigeria, especially the ones that can afford to pay, they only want to pay a brand name. It's not about the skill set. I may be as good as a Kelechi Amadi-Obi, right? I may be as good as a Kelechi Amadi-Obi. However, my name is not Kelechi. So they nickel and dime me. I'm not even saying pay me what you pay Kelechi, because Kelechi is a brand. But then they nickel and dime me because they've seen my work, they've seen the quality of my work,
Yes.
but then they nickel and dime me. How do I navigate my way? So from what I hear is you have to be stubborn about your craft.
Oh,
right?
well, the truth is that, Nigeria is an environment that has a culture of bargaining. You go to the market and then, you see, a collection of very healthy, perfect red tomatoes, from Jos that just looks like you want to throw it into the pot immediately. And instead of telling the guy, oh, you have such a beautiful set of tomatoes, you tell him what is wrong with your tomatoes. They're too small, Inside your mind, you're like, oh my God, I hope this guy will give me these tomatoes for 200 naira, And the guy says, can you buy it for 150? I said, you tell him 150, are you mad? Did you get it from Mars? Inside your mind, you're giving a value of 200 naira. The guy asked for 150, but the inner culture of bargaining in you will let you talk down on that tomatoes until the guy will sell it to you for 50 naira. And then you will go home and tell your wife that, I got these tomatoes, I think it's worth 300 naira for 50. Now, because of that mentality, people are using that same thing on creatives. And for a young creative who hasn't, built a very strong base, if he keeps getting that kind of talk from collectors and from clients, he will start to lose confidence in the value of work. So Nigerians need to navigate the difference between doing good work and listening to people who just want to talk down on your work in order to get a good price. Compare your work to the best in the world.
I think I'm frozen.
So I go to meet the naira, for this kind of work. I say, but that is not commensurate, to the kind of work that we are doing here. If you want to compare the price of my work, you want to compare it to the price of work done by Mario Testino and Lubavitch or, Nick Knight, and these people that work for Vogue and Elle Magazine and the rest of them, check how much those people are paid. Then you'll understand that what I'm asking for is chicken change, And when people realize that you understand who you are, you know your value, inside their mind, they also know that the quality of work that you do is great. Then they will stop talking to you as if they want to buy tomatoes in the market.
But the most important thing is that creative has to be quality.
Of course.
Has to be quality.
Before you start asking for 1 kobo from anybody, make sure your work is on that same level. That is the mistake people make. You don't go and take rice and stew that you have not finished cooking, and then you call people to a restaurant and you start packaging it for them to eat.
Yeah. So let's quickly run through some. Let's quickly run through some of these questions here for the sake of time, so we can go. So I have here how possible it is to find an agency to link photographers who want to go into fashion photography with fashion stylists and designers.
Oh, well, I think it's a question that Peexoo should take care of, I mean, it's very simple. You get these people registered and everybody in the same portal, and people can hook up with each other, But I also advise photographers, start small and think big. Find young stylists, young hairstylists, young makeup artists who you think are good. Team up with them and start to create work. That is how I started. Excuse me.
This next question, I believe you've answered, but I'll bring it up again. It says, what is an important quality for a beginner photographer to improve on?
Oh, well, I mean, one of the major things you need to do is to have the thick skin to be able to keep working and creating and improving. And that's why I always say, know thyself. If you understand what your passion is, then that will push you through the threshold. And after that, you start to build a style, So the most important quality is the courage to be yourself.
That's you are preaching. That one is a sermon. The most important quality is the courage to be yourself. I'm going to post that. That's a fantastic one. So let's look at the next one. It says one challenge with being a portrait photographer is posing different people in new ways. What has really helped in breaking new boundaries in this very challenging aspect of fashion and portrait photography?
Oh, well, posing. No, you're right. I mean, you have to learn these things. You have to understand body language. If somebody is like this, he's saying something. Another person is like this, saying another thing. Another person is like this, his body is saying another thing. If the person does that, he's saying something else. He does this, he's saying another thing. He does that, he's saying another thing. He does this, he's saying another thing. Everything has a meaning. You need to understand the language of body movement. If you're going to be shooting human beings, you need to understand this. Then sometimes you don't need to pose anybody. You just need to observe them and bring out who they truly are. You shouldn't take Naomi Campbell and start trying to make her look like Chima Amanda. Or trying to take Akuyini and make her look like Naomi Campbell. It's not possible. It's not even physically possible. So you need to observe closely your sitter. Your job as a portrait artist, a lot of times, is to actually bring out your subject, not to make them something else. Just bring out who they truly are.
Absolutely. So one final one before we bring on Jay so that you guys can have a quick conversation. We're also having some sort of technical issues. So after your conversation with Jay, we'll take a 5 to 10 minute break and then we'll resume. Can you recommend any good company where one could learn how to make good images as an intern?
As an intern? Oh, well, I mean, there are so many good photographers out there. I mean, T.Y. Bello, I mean, you can't, there's no end. Find your mentors and people you would love their work and try and get it if they have space. At the same time, it's not always that you will be mentored physically. You can be mentored from afar. I never served under any photographer. I did not do internship under any photographer, but I have so many mentors. And a lot of times I'm learning from people who are not photographers. Because at the end of the day, for you to stand out, you have to be different. You have to understand it is what is in your mind and your ability to communicate that matters. So I start to find mentors in people like Mahatma Gandhi, Bob Marley, Martin Luther King. These are people, Chino Achebe, these are people that are not necessarily image makers, but people making impact through whatever they do on humanity.
That's fantastic. Daniel, another thing you can do, watch out for Peexoo next year. Peexoo has Peexoo Learn, where they put together all kinds of courses that, you would get to courses and also mentorship programs by connecting the likes of Kelechi, T.Y. Bello, and the likes to up-and-coming photographers. Like I said earlier, one of the things I said to Kelechi is, how can we make more Kelechis? So that's, I guess, just watch out for Peexoo next year. You would see some of these training opportunities. Thank you so much for everyone that has put in their questions. I really appreciate you being a part of this. At this point, I want to invite Jay Alonzo. I believe you're with us. If you could just, man, look at that setup.
It's good afternoon and good morning there. Kuyo.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing great. And one day, I'd just like to say an advance happy birthday to Kelechi.
Oh, happy birthday in advance.
So, where's the party?
Yeah.
Thanks a million.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
So let me give you guys an opportunity. Is there some sort of interaction you want to have? Something that connects both of you? What do you guys like about each other's work? Have you stolen an idea from Kelechi? Jay, have you stolen Kelechi? Don't lie. Have you stolen something from Jay that you're like, oh man, he did that to do that?
Oh, well, man, does fantastic work. But again, I always tell people, you have to still like an artist, you get inspired and then you create something else. It's always wonderful, and a lot of times, even the artist that you saw his work while looking at yours will not even connect it to his own. And you'll be wondering, there's something about this work I love. And I love that kind of scenario,
Fantastic. Jay, did you feel something from Kelechi?
Well, there's one thing that Kelechi and I have in common, and that is actually age. So when I was listening to the things that he was telling us during this conference, I wholeheartedly agree, because that's basically my mindset also. And I can feel his passion in it. And it helps to have started Kelechi during the film days, right? So,
exactly.
during that time, I agree with Kelechi that it was more difficult to learn on your own, because there's no social media and social media groups to support you. Let alone you don't have any platform like Instagram to promote your work.
Exactly.
And it will take you what, a decade, Kelechi, to get your name known.
Exactly.
But today, it's just what, a few postings and you get a lot of followers, and you're instant celebrity. So I just want to say hats off to Kelechi, and for a wonderful seminar that he gave this morning rather, in your time. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll let you go now. Thank you so much. And then, we'll see you on the other side.
Yes, one day, because he has to prepare for the party.
Jay, nice.
My friend Jay Alonzo.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break, 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll be back soon.
That would be great.
So that we can sort out this technical issue we're having for our YouTube audience.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we're back.
Bye.
Photographer for that particular niche, so it will be easier also for Peexoo to market them. But also there are other aspects in conducting photography business that maybe Peexoo can get into, like for example the accounting side, right? So some photographers, or rather many photographers, are not actually businessmen, but they don't know how to account for the income, that there's depreciation in the equipment, so they also fail that in setting up their prices or their overheads. That's why maybe from time to time, Peexoo can also basically conduct business for non management or non executive people who are into photography and in the creative industry. Basically, you're there as the business side of it. And that will be a very, very big help, because when I started out as a photographer, and I'm sure many of your photographers feel this way, I don't know anything about business. That's how I felt when I started. That's why you're there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jay. So we would run through some of these questions real quick. One of the things that I wanted to tell you is when you talked about accounting, myself and the people in the room, we just looked at each other, because what Peexoo Biz is pretty much a CRM tool that helps photographers run their business easily. So your calendar is there, your prices are there, your portfolio is there, you can build your invoices there. We will get to the point where we put a proper accounting system in there as well. So we're pretty much saying we're creating a platform that lets creatives be creative while we give them a solution to help run their businesses. So it's funny you said that, because that's the whole idea of subscribing to Peexoo in the first place. Sorry, give me 1 second. I need to. All right, thank you. Let's take some questions now. What strategy will you advise a documentary photography business?
Sorry. Okay. What?
What strategy would you advise for a documentary photography business?
Okay. Make a story out of any documentary. For example, if you recall how National Geographic makes a story out of the animals, some of the shots there are not actually or related during what happened, but some are actually stock footages or video clips that are just spliced together. But it does the job of telling how these different animals interact with one another. So that's one of the possible differentiators that you can do as a documentary photographer. Now, being a documentary photographer is still also a broad term. So, which kind of documentary that you're into? Is it what they call investigative? Is it about a simple factual or how to or things like that? So, basically, you have to keep your customers, or rather, your audience, rather, uh, glued to what you have to say. So basically, here is the formula, and it works because when it comes to documentary photography, still photography, and this the videographers know this very well. You have to present your photos in a story. So what does that mean? You have to learn how to make a story from a situation. That means show the problem, and then this is what will happen if you don't if nothing gets resolved. So with that, people are now more interested. Why? Because hey, what will be the outcome? What will happen next? And that's why when you present your photographs, for example, they're in the sequential events, for example, or in a body of work wherein it shows or it satisfies that what they call this solution. So being a documentary photographer requires storytelling skills. That's one of the possible differentiators. And as a documentary photographer, that would really, really eat up a lot of time. So you cannot just go there and document and things like that. Sometimes you have to do this pre-research, and then you also have to this post-shoot research and come back again if there are still materials lacking. So basically, most people that I met who are into documentary photography don't take account of this time spent, and they don't know they're losing money in that way. They're not being paid properly. So now you might say, okay, this will increase the amount, probably yes. But if you're going to put this in your selling point, that hey, when you ask us to make a documentary project, regardless if it's video or photo, definitely here's our promise. It will be accurate, it will be complete, and your audience entertained. Who says that? Maybe you'll be the first one.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So we'll take one more question and then we'll bring in the next host. At this point, it looks like we have to change the host because of some technical issues. Quickly, clients who pay less are the most exhausting ones. What strategy will you advise for a documentary photography business?
So again, sorry, what? It's
This person, I believe, is the same person, right? The person is saying clients who pay less are the most exhausting ones. Did you hear that?
yeah, that's that really brought out a laugh in me because regardless if you're a documentary photographer or not, usually the ones who haggle the most are the most exhausting ones, really. And the reason is because they think you're pricing it too high, and for them the value of your services is very low. So what happens then is that when you make them agree to your price, or when you accommodate their price, they think, they feel that they are already owning you. Why? Because they are paying a lot for you, when as a matter of fact you're feeling quite the opposite. It's peanuts. But these people will think they own you because they feel they're shelling a lot of money for you. That's why I always get sorry, Wande, but this is basically what happens when the first instance that I receive a hard bargain or a hard haggle in my projects. I already automatically say, sorry, we cannot accommodate you and maintain a quality that you deserve and want with that price. But if you want, we can probably refer you and point you to another photographer who might accept that one. So at least it's a service that you are still helping them find the photographer. Maybe it's just that you and that particular customer didn't match. So it's so basically I would say, uh, sorry, we can't assure you that we can deliver that particular quality, but we'll just deliver you to. We'll just refer you to another photographer. Why? Because you know there will be more than 12 dozen problems cropping up once you accept the job. And that's a hard experience that I had to bear at one point in time. So here's the one more thing that I could say. If you cannot, if you cannot charge your services to the amount that you think you need and that would cover your expenses, then might as well get out of the business. Might as well find another job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jay Alonzo. It's been a wonderful experience having you. At this point, I want to bring up our next host and my co-founder, Stephen Kelechi. Please come on, and then we'll take our next speaker, Jay. Our next speaker is Shola Ammashaum. Stephen, I'm going to hand over to you. I don't know if you have any questions for Jay.
Oh, as long as it's
Yeah.
not about about my age, Steven, I'm okay.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you, Steven. Yep.
All right, cool. So it's fantastic having you today, and funny
It's my
enough, this is the
pleasure.
first time I'm speaking to you. I watched your video, your intro video about the program, and I was excited. So what I actually wanted to ask you is a very simple question because I believe since you are in Abu Dhabi, you should know
Yeah.
like the Abu Dhabi is pushing for innovation and the future. What do you think is the future of photography in the next 5 to 10 years? What should happen? Yeah.
So while you answer that, can we have our next speaker, please? Shola Ammashaum. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead and
Okay.
answer that question.
Okay. Basically, all right now. One of the let me start with the challenge now because when I started here, that was 10 years ago. The pricing of photography services were wrong. Like for example, for a product shot, people would ask, "How much do you charge per hour?" It doesn't work that way. Okay. Well, per hour could be okay for events photography, right? But usually I would rather put it in a package. But and I don't do events photography. Whenever somebody asks for events photography, we refer them to somebody else who know will do the job properly, and depending on the budget that they need. But basically, they're pricing it wrongly. So one of the challenges is educating the market. Okay. Because of the proliferation of photography and photographers and videographers, they can do it with just their phones, even, and with skillful editing, they could come out like a pro. Because of the proliferation of service providers, you have become commoditized. So it's really, really hard to differentiate and charge the amount that you need to cover your expenses at least. So basically, it's about educating also the client why you're a better fit than other photographers. However, the nice thing about being in this part of the world is that development and progress sans pandemic, okay, of course, because this is a very, very what you call this abnormal year, is that things could have become even a lot better. and
Mm,
the population, of course, should have increased, but due to more influx of migrants or working people. So that means bigger budgets for advertising and commercial photography. So that's why I told you to follow those 3 lessons that I learned. Because as
Absolutely.
currently right now, Stephen, one day our graph is going down. The economy is like this, going down. That's why follow those 3 things. It's like surfing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just
You don't give up when there's no wave. You wait it out there.
absolutely, yeah. So just once I believe strongly that if we can follow those 3 steps that you've highlighted, that we would be able to navigate our way. So thank you so much, Jay. This was a pleasure, and we'll continue to talk. We'll continue to work together. I look forward to more conversations. I look forward to you being one of our ambassadors of Peexoo and taking this out there. So thank
Yes.
you. I appreciate your time. And
Thank you
at
very
this
much.
point, you and I can bow out and give Stephen the
Yeah.
floor.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
All right.
I'm glad to be back here, Africa, Nigeria. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you. Have a good one. Fantastic.
Bye.
All right. Hi, Shola. Are you here? So we can kick start. You need to on your video and also your mic.
Hello. It's Simon.
Hi, Shola.
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
Hi, Shola. Can you hear me? So we can kick start.
I can hear you.
I can hear me. We can't hear you. You can hear?
I can hear you loud and clear.
You need to on your video. So give me a minute, please.
It's on. My video is on. I can see myself on. I can see myself on YouTube. What's up? What's up?
I can hear you.
Hello.
It's on. My video is on.
Yeah, I can see your video. I can't hear you.
Oh wow.
Do
you join us?
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, one day I has to log out from this. Please give me 5 minutes. Let's bring up the audio.
Not a problem. Host disabled participant sharing screen.
Okay, yeah,
So
can
this
you
is
now?
why I don't like using the quality is not.
Hi.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much for showing up for this conference. We really appreciate. I know you're about rushing out. I heard what's happening, so we have to be very quick with that. And let me do a very short introduction of Shola Ammashaum. Shola Ammashaum has been like this is someone I've been looking up to. I think we have had one conference where when I was doing my other photography stuff, that I invited you, and it was a fantastic section. It was more like a fireside chat, and you did excellently well. So I want to invite or applaud you to come and grace your presence at this event, and thank you for it. So let's kickstart. So talk to us.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Absolutely, I can hear you clearly.
Hello, Stephen. Okay.
I can hear you
so
clearly.
hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It was an amazing session with Mr. Alonzo, and it's so beautiful. I learned a lot. So I have something to share via my screen. I'm coming in 31 minutes late. That means I have 29 minutes more, which is actually not so good for a lot of things that I would like to share. So I have to pick my kids from school by 2 p.m. and I was hoping that I will have at least 45 minutes. So let's do the best we can do within this time. Is it okay if I share my screen? So I won't have to be looking at another screen.
Absolutely, you can share your screen, please.
Okay. And I'm sorry about the quality of the video. I actually would have loved to use my mobile that is very clear, but then I was told that I have to use my screen, so my laptop screen, so I apologize. Okay, I'm not able to share my screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Is that something you can do from your end?
Let me try. Let me see.
Okay. If not, I have to check my notes. I don't want to be turning back and forth. So while you're doing that, maybe I should just start.
I've made you a host. I've made you a host now. You can actually try sharing your screen again.
Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. Still saying the same thing, host disabled participant screen. Maybe I should just start off. Okay, let me just start off. Cool. I'll apologize because I have to check my notes from here. I would have loved to share my screen straight up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shola Ammashaum. If I want to introduce myself, I will introduce myself as a visual storyteller. Now, being a visual storyteller simply means that I tell visual stories with photos and video. That is what I major in. Now, I can call myself a professional photographer, a cinematographer, and add all of it. But then the whole story still boils down to the story of people that I am telling. So I've been told today to talk about what creatives need to know to focus on success. The salient word is success. How you can go from what you were to what you want to be. I would have loved to run through my backstory, how I started from being an accountant to looking for a job for 4 years. And when I got a job in an accounting firm, I turned it down to pick photography. Since I picked up photography, I've had the privilege of shooting in a couple of countries like Dubai, like Brazil, like I've done assignments in Hollywood, Atlanta, Georgia, Kenya, Liberia, to mention a few, and I've done assignments around the country. My major specialization, it's studio photography, documentary photography, commercial photography. Basically, I particularly love documentary too. So that is my little backstory, summarize up all in a ball. Good. So what do you need to do? Now I have about 15 minutes to talk. So I'm trying as much as possible to touch on as many things as I need to touch on. So what do creatives need to focus on to succeed? Number one, without wasting time, is your why. What is your why? Why do you want to start the business you want to start? Why do you want to start photography? Why do you want to start cinematography? Why do you want to start documentary? Why do you want to start portraits? You understand? You have to know your why. And if you don't know your why, there's a tendency that you will abuse any privilege given to you. Now, to focus, which the salient word is focus and success. So yeah, focus and success, so that you can succeed in whatever you do. You have to know your why. The reason why I started photography was because I wanted to document my life as a youth corps member for Nigeria. You understand? That was way back year 2002. You understand? So I bought a camera because there was this big deal about if you serve your nation, there's a big deal. There's just this big buzz about the service here. So I bought a camera. In fact, this was the first camera that I bought, Zenith camera, and this was the second camera that I bought, all analog camera. And I bought a camera. Why analog camera? To document my life as a youth corps member, you understand? So that when I grow up, I can be able to show my kids how their dad looked like when my neck was long and I was 20 years old or 21 years old and all of that. That was my why. Now, after finishing my NYSC, after serving the country, I came back to Lagos normally to look for work, join the labor market as it would be. And for 4 years, I could not get a job. But then while I was serving for 1 whole year in the North, I was able to develop my craft. You understand, to work with people. I was able to meet people that when I came back to Lagos, some of the people that I photographed during my NYSC years, they were calling me for weddings, you understand? So I was able to keep body, heart, and soul together with some of the things I was able to do. Now, I studied as an accountant, And later on, after 4 years, I got a job in an accounting firm.
Hi, Shola, we can't hear you. Probably your network. Check your network, please. Hi. I think his network is bad. It's coming back on. I think it's coming back on. All right, guys, please give us a minute for Shola to come back on. I think he's having network difficulties. Sorry, guys, I think Shola is having network issues. So let's give it some time, please. So it's coming back in. It's about to sign in now. So we'll be reviewing some questions while we wait for Shola Ammashaum to come back. Let me check the questions. Okay.
Somebody call Fortress and tell him to get his hand up. Tell off the thing.
Hi, hi. We are still waiting for Shola Ammashaum to come back on. I think he's having some serious network difficulties. We'll try to reach him and know what's up. If you have any questions, please can you drop it on the chat so we can start answering them, and also we can reserve them for the panelists that will be talking. So as we wait for Shola Ammashaum to come and join us. All right, so to wait for Shola Ammashaum, I think I will use this opportunity to share a brief introduction about Peexoo and what we do. So as you have heard one day and Kelechi during the session talk about Peexoo, I'm going to shed more light about Peexoo and what we do. So Peexoo is a very simple platform. We actually focus on helping photographers to grow their business by helping them to manage the end-to-end operations that is involved in their business while they focus on shooting and creating amazing content. So how are we doing that? We have a platform, an AI-powered platform that you can actually use to showcase your portfolio. You can actually use it to also create invoice. You can use it to manage anything that has to do with your calendar and scheduling of your events that you're going to shoot, or you have a shoot that you're about to have. So it's currently live now, and if you are here, you have not registered on Peexoo, you are missing. So we really urge you to probably go and check it out and see how Peexoo can actually benefit your business and help you to get more clients faster, and also for you to grow your business faster. I think we have Shola here now. Amazing.
Okay.
Hi, Shola, welcome back.
What's up? What's up?
I
honestly do not know. I mean, I do not like stuff like this. It breaks the flow. And with the little minutes we have again, so
yeah.
Okay.
So let's
should we pick it up from where we? Okay. So
absolutely.
The first thing I mentioned Yeah. So the first thing I mentioned, if you want to have success in whatever you're doing, and if you're a starter in the industry, is to first know your why. Why are you getting into that industry? Yeah. If one of your reasons is to make money, see, making money, it's making money is it's the end product of service. You understand? So it is very important that you know your why. You understand? Because if your why is not genuine, it's just like smoke. People can smell it from a distance. You understand? So the next thing you need to do before getting into any industry and succeeding is to know how. The first one is, the second one is to know how. How would you succeed in that industry? How would you approach that industry? You understand? To succeed. Now, the next point that I have is called viability study or feasibility study. You need to study any business you want to get yourself into. I have a photography academy, and one of the things I tell my students over the past 8 years is this: before you get to any industry, do your own research. Then I'll make a simple analogy for them, and this is what I do. Now, first thing first, what state are you? What is the population of the state that you are in? Lagos, for example, has between 17 to 22 million people in it. So definitely there will be people that need your services. So people will continue to marry. You understand? That's wedding photography. People will continue to propose to each other. That's proposal. When people marry and they consummate their relationship, you understand? That is maternity photography. You understand? When people want to celebrate, their birthday, that's birthday photography. When people are happy and they are throwing parties, that is party. You understand? If there's concert, that is concert photography. If there needs to be a documentary, you understand, story told, maybe journalistic story told, or you need to document a travel, or you need to document, that is documentary photography. There's fashion photography, there's sport photography. There are tons, more than 25 different aspects of photography. So if you research your industry, the industry you want to get yourself into, whether it is a music video you want to do, or documentary video you want to do, or interviews that you want to do, you have to do your feasibility study and see how viable that business is. What is the meaning of viable? The dictionary meaning of viable means capable of working successfully. So that means if I replicate what Peexoo is doing in Nigeria and I go to Kenya, you understand, and replicate the same thing and change their name, if it works, if I pick the case study of Peexoo and I see that it works successfully, I can go and replicate the same thing in Kenya. So if you look at our major telecommunication networks like Globacom, like Globacom, Airtel, MTN, and Etisalat, they are probably doing almost the same thing. You understand? They are replicating the same thing with different names, and they are making money doing that. So before you succeed in any particular industry, you have to do your viability study or feasibility study. How feasible is it that if you replicate what Kelechi Amadi-Obi is doing, it can, if you replicate what Kelechi Amadi-Obi is doing in Nigeria and you replicate it in Ghana, it can succeed. You understand? That is feasibility study. You understand? And you have to look for clients as well. Another, hold on for me, please. Let me check my notes. Good. So to succeed in any industry, if you're a newcomer, or even if you're not a newcomer, if you're trying to thrive and succeed eventually, you need to find a mentor. You can't overemphasize the role of a mentor. You understand? I have people that I was looking up to when I first came into photography. Photography has no gateway. You can start learning online and you can start doing your thing. But then the practicability of what you are doing, you understand, the business side of it, the experience side of it, you understand. You may not have that when you're starting. That's why you need a mentor. A mentor is someone that wants to see you grow. A mentor is someone that succeeds. A mentor is someone that has failed several times more than you have even dared to try. You understand? So you need a mentor. You understand? I had several mentors that I was looking up to when it comes to concerts, when it comes to wedding, when it comes to documentary photography. I had mentors that I would sit down, check their portfolio, and reach out to, and they will advise me. Then it got to a point that people started looking up to me. Oh, Mr. Shola, how did you do this? I had a mentoring session with about 7 of my students just before I came here. You understand? So you need a mentor to succeed in any industry that you're going to be jumping into. Now, one of the biggest name in when it comes to music video in Nigeria is Clarence Peters. I knew when Clarence Peters was packing cables for DJT, when DJT will finish shooting a music video, and Clarence Peters will be packing cables. You understand? Learning the ropes. You understand? But guess what? These days, we all want to be superstar photographer. You understand? You want to be the likes of Andy Roberts, Kelechi Amadi-Obi, Tope Upload, Emmanuel Oyeleke, Jide Odukoya, and such. You understand? You want to do your own thing. You want to collaborate. You want to... It's a process. You understand? If you really want to succeed, you can't judge your success by the amount of likes that you will have on Instagram. People buy likes. Let me tell you. So people can be buying 3,000 likes for each of their posts, and they may necessarily not be so beautiful pictures. It may not be converting to money. Now, another thing you need to do is pick your specialization. You understand? Pick your battle. You understand? Pick your weapon and jump into battle. You understand? Pick an area of specialization. It is very important. Now, most people, when they jump into photography or cinematography, what they want to start with is what is so popular, like wedding photography, because a lot of people wed, or documentary photography. The most important thing is you starting. You understand? The most important thing is you starting. Hey, let me tell you, you are going to fail. Oh my God, you are going to fail. You are going to have record failures. But you know what? People are only going to focus on your success. So when you're practicing and when you're failing, the process of practicing and failing, share it online. You may not necessarily share your failure, share your process. So for example, now if I have for example, now I have an assignment, and my assignment is going to be spanning about 5 to 10 days. I am going to be shooting the nominees of the Headies Award. You understand? The likes of Mayo Kong, Thames, Davido, and call the names. You understand? Now, when I'm shooting all the superstars, I will document behind the scene and share my process. It's a form of marketing. That gets me to my next point. If you want to succeed at anything that you're doing in this creative industry, you must learn how to market. In fact, there was one of my mentors' blog that writes, market or die. Your business will die when nobody knows about it. Out of sight is out of mind. Once you are out of mind, the next people can see, the next team people can see, the next set of people can see, they will engage them and move their own market to that part. In fact, one of the things I've decided to do these days is that from every money I'm making from my photography business, I will commit 25% to marketing. You understand? Because if you stay in a place like Lagos and you have about 17 million in a place like Lagos, and you are not having at least 4 to 5 gig in a weekend, then you are not doing something right. It goes beyond you just posting a picture and writing the caption. Promote what you're posting. There's a big name in the photography industry in Nigeria that has more than 1 million people following this particular photography personality. I saw this particular personality promoting a post on Instagram. I'm like, this person has more than 1 million people following. Why would you need to market? Then my brain told me that you need to market to new set of people, not people that's only your fans. People have the kind of money that you need. You understand? You need to find a way to convert raging fans to people that are going to pay you money. If not, you are going to be in a big mess. Pick a niche. Pick a niche. When you're picking a niche in the creative industry, look for the verticals. You understand? So right now, I'm a professional photographer. What does the meaning of what does it mean to be a professional photographer? So literally, being a professional photographer means that you are earning 100% of your income from photography. That is what it means to be a professional photographer. It doesn't mean that you can take good pictures or edit amazing images. It means that 100% of the money that you're making is basically from photography. You can argue with your ancestors. Let's move ahead. You understand? So
Yeah.
So you need to find a niche and own it. I started as a photographer, you understand, but I'm doing videography. I run a videography agency. You understand? I've done assignment when Cardi B came to Nigeria last year. I was one of the, in fact, we were the BTS company, you understand, assigned to do behind the scene for Cardi B when Cardi B came. You understand? The different events, we've done different events that we did photography and we did video production. Now it becomes an additional. So instead of your clients looking for a photographer and a cinematographer to document their assignments, guess what? You get to have the event. So if, for example, you are being paid $1,000 to do an assignment, let's not call Naira, we know that the value of Naira had fallen, you understand? So let's imagine that you're being paid $1,000 to do a photography assignment. Imagine if you're paid $2,000 to do a videography assignment. You understand? You can scale up. That is success. Once you're able to replicate this success, then you own a market share, then you can live, then you can thrive. You know what had happened this year. Coronavirus damaged a lot of it, especially for those in the entertainment industry. Till now, I've not seen any concert since February of this year. So let's imagine that the only thing you're concentrating on is just concert photography. You are in big trouble. If the only thing people know you for is concert photography, you are in big trouble. So during the pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, I had clients calling me to come and do documentary about the pandemic, not only photography and videography. So look at the verticals in your industry. So if you do music video and you don't have people calling you for music video, do short documentaries. You understand? If you can't do short documentaries, you understand, look for dancers, record. By all means, see, tough times are not the time to stop trying. You understand? It's a tough time for countries. Countries are in depression, not only in Nigeria, America, countries all over the world. People are dying. So one of the best things you can do for yourself this year is to survive. One of my mentors told me, and he said, survival before success. You understand? You need to survive this particular time. Another thing you need to take cognizance of is to be teachable. You have to have a teachable spirit. I've had a lot of people that are trained at overtime. They were arrogant with the little they know, and I smile. You understand? I've seen the likes of Kelechi Amadi-Obi. If you approach Kelechi Amadi-Obi and you don't know Kelechi from Anam, Kelechi will laugh. You know the kind of laughter, ha, 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 like Father Christmas. Kelechi will laugh and share knowledge with you every time. You understand? And guess what? I remember when I started photography that time, I was the guy that gave Kelechi this particular software called this particular software by Google. I've forgotten what the name of the software is. And Kelechi took it and he tested it out. You understand? You must be teachable when you are growing. Then you must be willing to listen to people's advice. Yeah, sometimes I'll see Kelechi shooting and I'll approach her, what are your challenges? And he will gist with me, you understand? You must be teachable. You must have learning spirit. Before I came online, I was showing my students some of the tabs I have and some of the research that I was doing. And I was telling them that you must have the spirit of a beginner always, so that you can learn good things and new things every time. Have I mentioned that you need to pick a niche? Yes, you need to pick a niche. Now,
yes, you have mentioned that.
To succeed in whatever it is that you're doing in the creative world, be it photography, be it video production or video documentary, or being a creative, another thing you need to pay attention to is your vision. See, you can't achieve anything. You can't take amazing pictures without gear. You understand? Gear is good, but vision is better. You understand? If you have a kit lens and a camera, it is good. But what vision do you have? You understand? What research can you do such a way that you will use that your kit lens to take amazing images and people are going to look for you. You have seen, I was watching a documentary on CNN yesterday. If you have the time, go on CNN, anybody watching me, CNN African Voices, and search for photographers. And you will see amazing things photographers are doing with kit lens of their camera. You understand? Taking pictures, editing it, and they are being featured on CNN. It gives them a global audience. So start with what you have. For what you have is plenty. What you have is plenty. If you have a camera, start. If you do not have a camera, if you have a phone, go ahead with your phone, document and share. You understand? I used to borrow cameras. I used to borrow my brother's digital camera before I got mine. Do you understand? Start with what you have, because what you have is plenty. Not doing the most you can with the little you have is killing your brand before it starts. You understand? So have a teachable spirit. Gear is good. Vision is better. If you do not have particular visions, you understand, go online, search online visions about photography. What should my visions be for my photography business? See, I want to be the go-to. So one of my vision as an instructor is to be the go-to photography training agency in Nigeria. You understand? If you check Google and you search for photography training in Nigeria, there's a likability that you'll find us on the first page of Google, because that is not only one of our visions, we are working towards it. You understand? You have to have a vision before you work towards a vision, and you must have a goals. You must have goals. And what is goal broken down? Together? No, it's a team means together everybody achieve more. You need a team to work on your goals sometimes. Now, another thing you need to take into cognizance if you are a creative and you want to succeed in the creative industry is that you need to follow client's brief. I have seen one of the top photographers in Nigeria do an assignment for a particular client, and the client said, "This is rubbish." And I told the particular client that, "Are you kidding me? Do you know who did this job?" The client looked at me and said, "I paid the person that did this job. This is rubbish." I said, "This guy is one of the best photographers in Nigeria." He said, "This was not what I told the photographer to do. So we're going to call another photographer to do this." You understand? You may be very creative, but see, if you do not follow briefs of clients, you will lose gigs. Now, some briefs of some clients sometimes are ridiculous budget that they're giving you, but see, try your best. You might as well tell them what it's going to cost them to deliver the epic thing that they want delivered to them. You understand? So you need to follow a client's brief, because if you can't follow a client's brief, you will be out of business. You understand? Now, we know that you're a creative already, but if you're a creative and you're struggling creative, that's terrible. If you're a creative and nobody is engaging your service and you're not able to make money, that is way more terrible. You know that you can deliver and nobody is. There's a particular creative that I know a couple of years ago that beats up clients on set. Guess what? Everybody moved away from that particular creative and they started engaging the people that he taught. He beats up clients and damaged the production they had done for them in front of that client. Legendary. And his star was going down. You understand? It happens like that. You must be teachable. You must follow client's brief. You must meet deadlines. You must meet client's deadline. Let me shake a table. Now, the competition is fierce. It will amaze you the number of people coming into the creative industry, whether photography, whether portraiture, whether wedding, whether documentary. Anybody that has a camera, or anybody that their uncle or their aunt can buy a camera, gets into the industry like that. And it's not a bad thing, you understand? The more competitive it is, the more creative you have to be to own a market share. See, it is better that you're exceptionally good at one or two things, or a couple of things, than you call yourself a generalist. See, if your teeth is aching you and it's really paining you, what kind of a doctor do you see? You see. Hello?
Address.
Hi, sorry, can you mute your mic, please? Whoever is talking. Hello? Hello? Can you please mute your mic, please?
No problem.
Shola, please, can you help us mute this person that is talking mic, please?
I don't even know who's talking.
Fortress Ndebweze. Yeah, Fortress Ndebweze. Can you please mute the mic? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the mic is muted.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
So as I was saying, what was I talking about? I lost that thought. Okay, what was I talking about? Okay, let me just jump on another point of mine. Market, as if your life depends. Okay, I was talking about the competitiveness of the market. The competitiveness of the market. See, it is crazy. It is crazy. I'm going to share with you what happened. I'm going to share with you what happened to me last week or 2 weeks ago. I had a booking, 4 bookings from 2 major clients, and the bookings were running into millions. I was so happy. I I had plans for it for my staff, where places we're going to go, increase in salary and all of that. And guess what? It all tanked out. Hello, can you hear me? It all tanked out. You know what happened? The client canceled. Some of them had challenges. The client canceled, and it was zero from the millions that I quoted for the jobs to nil, zero. Now, these are some of the challenges of being an entrepreneur. You understand? There are some times that you would have planned, you have written invoices, client I told you to circle the dates. In fact, I canceled all that engagement that I had, and they canceled at the end of the day. You understand? So challenges will come in your business. You are going to fail. But when you fail, see, there are more cases of depression right now than before. You understand? In fact, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was depressed. I started exercising so I can get my mind off a lot of challenges. So when I exercise, I record myself jogging, post it on my DP, record myself cycling, post it on is to get my mind off a lot of things. You understand? You must find a way to balance mentally. Some clients will call you, they will want to pay you less than your worth. It is up to you to pick up the job or not pick up, understand? It is left to you. But see, it is not going to be new. Now, what Peexoo is doing in the market is different. You understand? You can put your portfolio on their own website, and clients can come check your portfolio out. And if your service is good enough, they engage with you. But another thing that you must do by yourself, for yourself, is to market like there's no tomorrow. Guess what? You can start your marketing from your phone, where a lot of people are. Use your WhatsApp to start marketing. Now, do you know the billions of people that have WhatsApp? The easiest way to get in touch with you is via WhatsApp or your Facebook Messenger. Your WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. Now, if I send a message to you via your Facebook Messenger, it pops up on your phone. So if I have Barack Obama's Facebook page and I send him a message, it's going to pop up on his phone. You understand? So use the stories that you have. There's a reason why they call it WhatsApp stories, Facebook stories, Instagram stories. Guess what? Twitter now has Twitter stories.
LinkedIn
what are you doing?
LinkedIn have stories too.
LinkedIn have stories. Why? Because our lives is made up of stories. You woke up this morning. Some people woke up having nightmares. Some people woke up having the fear of the pandemic. Some people woke up because there's no money in their account. Some people woke up because they're happy, they're excited about the things that they're going to do. There are stories all around us. Now, if you can take your time to check someone else's stories, why can't you create stories that people will check? So averagely in a day, I have about 200 to 300 people checking my stories. So imagine if I'm putting some of the best documentaries that I've done on my timeline, and 200 people that I did not need to go and meet in their office or show my stuff can come on my WhatsApp story, Instagram story, Twitter story, LinkedIn story. By the time you combine these together, you will have more than 1,500 people checking your story, knowing what you're doing. So if all you're posting on your story is the food that you are eating, you are not smart. You understand? You can post on your story and tell people that for the best photography services and quick delivery in this part of the world, reach out to X, Y, and Z. And by the time they check it every time, you are not calling them to patronize you. Every time they check, they're seeing something amazing. You are marketing yourself without marketing yourself. Then your Facebook pages, put the reasons why people should engage with you. Now, as a tip to how best you can market your photography services, see when you work for any client, see as much as possible if you can deliver to them within the next 24 hours. I went to a particular conference, and the guy that came to speak at that conference said that, how long does it take you guys here in Nigeria to present the album or the jobs you have done to your client? And most people said 2 months, 1 month, 3 weeks. Some said 5 months, 6 months. The guy said, ask me how long it takes me to deliver my job to my client. And we all asked. Guess what this guy said? He said the same day. I was shocked. I'm like, the same day? Guess what? Since that time, I've been delivering to the client within 24 hours. Guess what? Some of the clients that I've delivered to within 24 hours, they don't call someone else again. I get big, don't let me say I get big deals or get big assignments, you understand? You understand? There are some assignments that I will do that I can't post them because they're huge assignments. I want to post them. I want people to know that I was one behind this assignment. I can't do that because I signed contract. Because the client did not want the client do not want their competitors to know that you are the brain behind the images that people are seeing. You understand? So when you handle client's brief as if it means a lot to you and you deliver promptly as possible, you know what, you blow minds. There was a particular client that in a production company that got in touch with us recently, and they just wanted to see, a marketer mentioned us, and they just wanted to see how we deliver. You know what? We took our drone there, we recorded without me showing my face. That day, we edited the video and we sent it to the client, and it blew their mind. Guess what? We're on retainership with this particular client. You understand? Go the extra mile. That is what people are not doing. People want to sit down, they want to have calls, then they will tell you that, oh, this is how much I'm charging. No, market as if your life depends on it. Let your clients know what they will be losing if they do not patronize you. The industry is getting competitive, and it will be more competitive at the end of the day. It continues to be more competitive. In fact, do you know what people do now? People window shop. They will call, there was a particular bank a couple of years ago that called the top photographers in Nigeria, and they were having an interview with them at 30 minutes interval. So while I was going for my meeting, I saw the numbers of photographers that I saw. I was like, what is happening here? By the time I got there, they were trying to test us out and see what portfolio it is that you have or you're strong at, and pitch the cheapest price to you at the best service that you can give to them. This was a bank that can pay you. This was a bank. So guess what? People are going to window shop you. But see, if you find a niche that there are not a lot of, a lot of photographers are jumping into event photography, wedding photography, you understand? Jump there, you understand? But then they are not focusing on aspect of photography that people, there are less people. It's demand and supply. If the demand is plenty and the supply is a little, you understand? You can charge more. So let's imagine that you're bringing tomatoes to Lagos State, for example, and the bridge, you understand, got destroyed, and 2 trailers out of 20 trailers was able to make it. The price of tomato will go up because there are a few people that can deliver in a particular niche. Their price will be premium. But imagine if there are 20,000 photographers in wedding, you understand? And normally, let's imagine that what you charge normally for wedding photography is $2,000. Now you are charging, let's say, $300, and they're still telling you that you are going to submit soft copies, you're going to submit enlargement, and you're going to submit an album. You start wondering how you want to make a living. You understand? So research. You understand? Creatives sometimes are lazy. We just want to copy. You see what Emmanuel Eleke is doing. You want to do exactly what Emmanuel Eleke is doing. You want to copy. You want to do beer. You understand? Fine. There is only one Emmanuel Eleke, Kelechi Amadi-Obi, Shola Ammashaum, Jide Odukoya, and the likes of creative photographers that are here, or cinematographers that are here. There is H2G. There is Clarence Peters. There is, you understand, there are names there. If you do not create your own niche, nobody would mention your name. You understand? So it is very important that you find a way to market yourself. Not only finding a way to market yourself, go online. Some of these things are free. How to market myself as a photographer, how to market myself as a cinematographer. You understand? So that you have a name in the industry. Guess what? Clients do not want to engage with vendors that don't have a name. What do I mean by that? Clients do not want to engage with vendors that do not have track records. So it will now amaze you that when clients call you, they will tell you that send your Instagram handle to me. Then you'll be like, oh, okay, Instagram handle. Then if you have a lot of followers, then they're like, oh, this guy is big. But then if you have 200 people following you and you're so amazing, they start thinking that why are a lot of people not following you? You understand? That is not deep enough. You understand? That is not deep enough. So you have to push. So while others are sleeping, you have to go study, and the things that you have learned, you have to create and push your product out. You understand? And learn the things that could make your photography business grow. There's the business aspect of photography, there's the technical aspect of photography, there's the business aspect of video production, there's the technical aspect of video production. If you have amazing portfolio and nobody is patronizing you, that is trouble. Lagos has about 22 million people in it. Why can you not get 2 jobs over the weekend that pays you a minimum of 250,000 so that you can make 500,000? You understand? Now, I'm not telling you that that is how I'm making it, and I'm not telling you that that's how I'm not making it. My own target is to be able to make a couple of millions every week. Have I started doing that? Maybe not. Maybe I've started doing that. But what is your target? You must have a target. If you do not have a target, if you do not have goals, you are just going to live your life as a photographer. People have stopped calling themselves photographers. Guess what? Because when you call yourself a photographer, the picture people see is a picture of a camera around your neck. No. Photographers now go to events with C-class Mercedes-Benz, good vehicle, top range car. By the time you come in and you're looking dark and they're smelling Versace perfume and they're like, oh my goodness, that is a photographer. There was a particular wedding I went for a couple of years ago and the bride was asking me, because the friends of the bride were asking her, oh, the photographer is looking good. I used to look better than this that time. Yes, I was slimmer, handsome, lighter complexion, the beach, you understand? And the friends of the bride was asking me that, is your photographer single? I just married a couple of weeks before that time. I was like, ha, Jesus is Lord, fine girls. But then my wife is beautiful. You understand? Your packaging matters a lot. The way people see you, the way people perceive you. When you open your mouth and talk, do you make sense when you talk? Beyond the beautiful pictures, can you network with people cordially? You understand? When you see other photographers that are smarter than you, are you cordial? Do you approach them? Are you a fan of their job? That's what I do. If I see a young photographer that I'm following, you understand? Oh, hi, you are so person. Oh, I follow your work. It's inspiring. I draw strength. And they'll be like, oh, wow. Yes, if that is the fact, I'll tell you that. You understand? So that is what I have for you. Gear is good, vision is better. Market as if your life depends on it. Take brief well, you understand? Deliver on time, meet deadlines. You have to be teachable and learn to have correction. There are sometimes that, last week a client called me. In fact, I did a gift for the client. I gave them an album after I'd done the assignment, and one of the client's relatives called me and was like, oh no, you are supposed to tell the story like this, tell the story like this. I just kept quiet and I was smiling. And at a particular point when I had the opportunity, I said, Ma, do you know that this is actually a gift? And she was like, oh wow, nobody told me, but you know what? Go and make this correction, we will pay for it. Go the extra mile. It is not everything that is money, you understand? Relationship will keep you in business than money. See, there's an adage in Yoruba that translates that any money that has a figure, you understand, damn it. So if I call this flip phone, if I call it $2,000 and I have $10,000 in my account and I want to show you that, how much is that? That's chicken. I'll bring it. I'll pay $2,000, then I'll smash it. That is if I want to prove a point. I won't smash my phone. You understand? So build relationship. People don't build relationship. When proteges learn from their mentor, immediately they start earning money. They sever the bond. They become arrogant. You understand? These are the things I've seen over time. You understand? Oh, I'm a boss of my own. You stop at the back and build relationship. It's like building bridges. You understand? So find a mentor. Find a mentor. Find a market. Pick a niche. Be teachable. What else did I mention? Know your why you're getting into that business. See, when you learn is a word short of earn. Take time to learn. I still learn as if I'm a rookie photographer. Take time to learn, and it will amaze you the things that you can do. Approach the industry smartly. Do your feasibility and viability study. That is what I have for you today. If I have questions, I would love to answer them. I'm sorry about the quality of the video. I hope the audio is okay.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Shola. Like, it's been crazy, and like for me, some of the nuggets of wisdom you dropped about photography has been tremendous. This is something that even on my own, I take out time and research on how we can help photographers to enhance their business. Like, you are on point from beginning to end. And I was like asking, are you sure you're not going to forget your keys in school? So, so, so I'm like,
I have to pay. So I apologize for staying this long. I just wanted to cover my.
No. It's for me. You did great. Like I love it. In fact, we are in the office here. We're talking about like you have so much passion for photography and you have so much passion about teaching people. And that brings up my first question I'm going to ask. As a strong and avid teacher of photography and as someone who runs an academy for photographers, what should be the learning curve or pattern for newbie or intermediate professional photographers? Like, what is their learning curve like? How do you think that they should be learning, or what are the things that they are supposed to be learning? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll quickly answer that.
Yeah.
See, there's why they call you a visual storyteller. The fastest way to learn is by visual, what you see. You understand? One of the fastest means of learning these days is via videos and pictures. So when you see kids in school, they will raise something up like this and they say, this is circle, say circle. They'll say circle, this is triangle, say triangle. Then you now raise it up. What is this? Circle. You understand? Learn by visuals. There are times at the academy that we have a group and I'll tell my students and I'll share some particular accounts to them, like WordPress, like Professional Photographers of America, like National Geographic, and I'll tell them to go and look through the first 50 to 100 pictures. Don't read the story, just look. Look for 2 seconds, go to the next picture, look for 2 seconds. It sticks to your brain. So the pattern, the learning curve should start from you, 1, desiring to learn, 2, pick a visual, you understand? Look through pictures. Your brain, it stays in your brain longer than text. Picture stays in your brain longer than text. That is why when you pass through a particular place, it sticks to your brain. You can retrace your step. Or when you get to a particular situation and you are holding a camera, you can recreate such a scene. You understand? So use what you have. If you have a phone, study with your phone. Go online, photography 101. You understand? Learn with what you have. If you do not have a camera, learn with text, learn with your phone, put images in your mind. Look at what people that you desire to be like, what they are creating. Check documentaries, you understand? It will inspire you. When it inspires you, guess what? Have a mental picture of what you are seeing. The first international assignment that I did was from the picture I had in my brain. One of my mentors was Ade Plumter, and while I was looking through his portfolio, I saw the picture of the jail that Mandela was. And I said, sir, what is this fence? And that was the prison in Robben Island that Mandela was. I said, what country is that? He said South Africa. And I kept the picture in my mind. The first two international assignment I had was in South Africa, was in Soweto and Joburg. It works like that. If you keep a mental picture, you understand? Just like you have mood board, you can have vision board. What is your vision? Who do you want to be like? Listen to their own story. You understand? Then start with what you can. You understand? If you don't have big clients, walk around your area. Take pictures of what is happening around your area. Share it. Most photographers that are commercial photographers, studio photographer, whatever photographer they are, they started from being a documentary photographer. You understand? Document your life. Document the food you are eating. Document the exercise you're doing. You understand? That is the pattern first. Then pick a mentor. You do not have to go and meet a mentor. If your mentor has the program online, buy the mentor's program. You understand? Understudy them. See their challenges. You understand? When a mentor is telling you that they are succeeding every time and they can't share their failures, they are lying. We fail more than we succeed most times. But then, if you have success story that hits you, you will forget the failure. You understand? So every time I have the opportunity of going for conferences, I tell the story of how I had struggled. You understand? Then I tell the story of you understand? People are most likely going to focus on your success. You understand? So as you're having each success, try and get another goal. You understand? Have another target and you will succeed. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It answers the question. I mean, like for me, I have actually watched, I used to visit your LinkedIn page a lot. And I used to see either you post, yeah, I've been seeing it for real. Either you post a shoot that you did in probably in another country that is not Nigeria, or I'm seeing you teaching a class, or I'm seeing you carrying a baby on the back. That's one of the most, I don't know, inspiring thing I saw. That's how I know how passionate you are about photography. Then there's something you say that I want to like really dig in on, about like people should, like photographers should be having at least 4 to 5 gigs a week. So how can young people or young people that are coming, like upcoming photographers, how can they have continuous shoot week on week? Not even just young people, photographers in general, right? How can they be able to, what can they do for them to have more shoots within the week? Yeah.
Okay, so the question is that how can you have more gigs? You understand, back to back.
Yes, back to back. Yeah.
So I will be as realistic as possible. You understand? There are sometimes that I share pictures of old assignment that I've done. You understand? When I'm idle and there's nothing that I'm doing. You understand? See, before, the question is, how do you get gigs to shoot back to back? If nobody knows you, nobody's going to hire you. You understand? If you're not diligent with one assignment that you're done, you understand? Nobody's going to give you another one. Guess what? The people that are busy these days the people that are busy working are the people that still get more jobs to do. Guess what? Because they are busy working. Now, the quality of the delivery of the assignments that they have. So so during the pandemic, a client got in touch with me, said that, oh, Shola, you know what? I don't have money, but I'm going to pay for logistics. There's a project that I'm working on. It's called African Farmer Stories. You understand? All I had to do was interview 2 people. Just go interview them and go back home. But you know what I did? I not only went to interview them, I traveled out of Lagos at the height of the pandemic, all nose mask or glove on, went to Ijebu, Ode, where they were doing fish farming, took my drone there, took cameras there, took my assistant there. So as I was shooting, someone was documenting me shooting, someone was doing video documentary of the old stuff that we were doing, you understand? So that at the end of the day, when I submitted my assignment to my client, the client started crying.
Wow.
I was like, oh goodness, did I do something wrong? And she was like, Mr. Shola. Guess what? I got a call from UK. And the call that I got from UK, I can't mention the name of the firm that this particular wonderful person had consulted for. And she asked that particular person that, how much did Shola collect? And that lady said, I just paid him logistics. And the lady called me and she said, I want to document 1,000 entrepreneurs in Africa. Now, I will be greedy to want to do 1,000. If my own documentary is just 50, I just want to do 50, make my money and go. What am I trying to talk about? You go the extra mile. When you are given a little, do so much. That is what we don't do. When you're given a little, do so much. I was supposed to do 2 documentaries. I did 9. Guess what? Former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, saw that documentary and requested that I come with my team. You understand? Yeah. By January, we will be doing because it's African Farmer Story. By January, we will be doing a series with the former president of Nigeria because they saw the documentary we did. Now, let me shock you. The documentary is not out of this world. It was the most I can do with the little that I had. But it is a story. You understand? There's a reason why you're called a visual storyteller. You're telling a story. Some people, it will resonate with them. People like story. When people call you, hey, come, I have a gist for you. They're like, oh, what's up? It's a story. Although it's gossip, it's a story. You understand? So if you have a privilege to do an assignment, do it as if you're being paid $1 million. Guess what? $1 million is on its way to you. Now, if you are not faithful with one, if you have not delivered the most you can with one assignment, you can't have 2, you can't have 3, you cannot have 4, you cannot have 5. Then it is not every time that you have 5. It is not every time you have 2. It's not every time we have. There are some times that we have 4 assignments doing, 3 assignments doing. There are some times that you can stay months and you may not have one. It's called life. You understand? But if you are consistently sharing the beautiful jobs that you have done. You understand? The not so beautiful jobs you have done, the process, the behind the scene of the assignment that you have done. Guess what? People will wake up and the first thing they want to go and check is, what is it that Stephen has posted today? What is it that Shola has posted today? They may not be talking, but guess what? A time will come that someone will mention your name and they will call. No, someone will mention that they need a service and they will call you and say that, oh, we know someone that can deliver. His name is Shola Ammashaum. You understand? So to get several gigs, you have to start working. Before you run, remember, you started crying, then you started crawling, then you started trying to walk on 2 feet, then you started running. Mm-hmm. A time will be for you to, there will be a time that after you have run to a level, you will have to take a break. If not, you are going to break down or you are going to die. So you have to find a time to rest and refresh. But then to have multiple gigs, give yourself the undue advantage. What is the undue advantage? Pick some part of your money. The money that you use to buy pizza, let's say it's 5,000 naira, use it to boost a particular post that you have. Let more people that did not know you before. You know, when you boost a post, it shows, it just comes on your timeline. Whether you like it or not, you will see it. When people see it and interact with it and I like it, you have more clients. Now, if you have more good posts that you have made before, people become loyal fans. You understand? Nobody is responsible for your success. God is not going, regardless of whatever fasting or prayer that you did, God is not going to come and help you promote your tweet or promote your Instagram picture. No, you have to do it yourself. So one of the things you should do, pick some of the money you have made, put it in marketing. That is what I'm doing. That is what I'll tell any upcoming creative to do. Why? Because if people are not knocking on your door, knock on the screen of their phone. Let them see. You understand? Let them see. Let them patronize you. Increase your chances of success. So let's imagine that there are 20,000 photographers in Lagos. Invite people to see me. It's not the numbers of posts that I make. The algorithm is designed not to show your picture to the people that are following you. So without boosting my picture, maybe 150 people will like my stuff. But by the time I post it with maybe 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira, and more people see it, more people are going to interact. So try and find a way to market your services for free. So you can go online and search for how to market my photography for free. And you will see ideas that you can work on immediately, and guess what? You may have more business than the so-called professional or so-called big names. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, man. Like this has been really, really exciting. And for real, this is our first virtual conference, and like we are going to be having a series of this coming up, like where we can share more of the knowledge of the top photographers for people, not just even top photographers. We can even get people that are also upcoming to come and talk about their experience so far. But it has been great, and I wouldn't want to waste so much of your time. So like, I don't go and pick up your kids. That's very, very important. Thank you, Shola. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hi, guys. So we have come to the end of today's session, and I want to thank everyone that tuned in. You guys are amazing and awesome. And we are going to be having this another session tomorrow by 11 o'clock to 2 p.m., right? So there is still some very big photographers that's going to come in tomorrow to come and talk about photography in general. And also not just photographers, so we are bringing in a very, very talented lady. I won't tell you what she is into, but she's very, very talented. So we look forward to having you guys come tomorrow, and we're excited that you guys are here today. So tune in next time, same station. All right, guys. Bye.